Jonathan Fibonojji. I'm going to talk about the Enneagram and one of the books that really changed my brain. By the way, this is Matt Westerman out there in Santa Monica, LA area. There you go. Independent musician. I took this video. It was out there. You know, I did this video about the top books that kind of changed my brain, top business schools. I go through 4 or 5 books that really had an impact on me. You know, one of the best books that I've ever read that truly changed not just my brain, but my business, 9 Ways of Working with the Enneagram. In fact, that led me to... The 9 Ways of Working is really a business application of the Enneagram. And slowly, I just started studying more and more. Then I found this book, The Behemoth, The Enneagram by Richard Rohr, a Catholic priest. Now, that's from a Christian perspective. This particular book, with Richard Rohr, it's my favorite book. However, if you're just looking for kind of a good business book that's really undervalued, of course, you know, you can go watch my other video there where I'm talking about the 4 agreements, but this one is the 9 Ways of Working. And again, this was where I was introduced to the Enneagram. And what happened in my little situation, just a brief story, is I was running a finance company, and you know, like most business owners, I sort of just assumed that every business person was like me. All my customers were like me, and they just didn't know it. You know, and I'm always an 8-7. Every time I take the stinking Enneagram test, I always test as an 8-7. Well, it didn't take me long to realize the value of the Enneagram. Well, I didn't know what the Enneagram was. I just knew about the 9 Ways of Working. And, you know, of course, I have a story that I can share there. But just to make it brief, there's no book that impacted me more than the 9 Ways of Working, because it was the first book that really helped me to understand when my customers came in. And remember, I'm a mortgage guy, so doing a mortgage is kind of a high stress. It's usually a person's largest expense. So doing a mortgage is like getting married. It's it can be a very long process. It could be a lot of stressful. It could be very stressful, and of course, it's expensive. So learning how to work with financial clients in the Enneagram was critical. And the 9 Ways of Working came into my life. Boom. Started really studying it. And then it kind of became so helpful that I slowly, this is really good. And then I found Richard Rohr's book, which I then realized that the Enneagram has been around for hundreds of years. And in short, from a business application, not a lot of people talk about the value of Enneagram consultancy and coming into businesses or even churches, especially churches, and to say, let's really look at the Enneagrammic tendencies of the leaders. For example, if you are wanting to grow, and what business is not, do you really want to hire a bunch of 6 personality type in leadership when the 6 energy tends to really just want to go with the existing authorities and the existing status quos? Or do you need to kind of break out? Do you really need like an Enneagram 8 energy, or maybe even an Enneagram 5? So when we talk about business leadership, I want to encourage you to start thinking about the Enneagram. And no book has had not just an impact on me personally, but also to my business, and therefore to my individual tax returns than the 9 Ways of Working. So let me show you this. Like, for example, you know, we talk about this right here. There is no JFK without LBJ. And LBJ's personality, he was the muscle behind JFK. So we talk about pairings, and you know, that may influence the type of partners that you choose, both professionally as well as maritally. You know, like, for example, there are some energies that just inherently are volatile. Like, do you ever see 1 energy and 8 energy really getting along? There's also pairings that are so predictable they're almost commonplace, like 6 and 3 energy or 6 and 9 energy. So whether you're looking at the Enneagram from a business concept or a relationship concept, the Enneagram is critical. In fact, now that I'm divorced, I can't imagine a better marital screening tool than the Enneagram. I mean, who's really teaching the Enneagram in churches and businesses? So whether your business is new or maybe you're a church that's kind of going through what's called a church split, or maybe your business is about to split, it's more cost effective to bring a guy like me in, pay me $5,000 or $10,000 for the weekend. Let me really kind of say, let's use some ancient wisdom called the Enneagram. If that's something that you're interested in, email me, americano417@gmail.com. Of course, tweet me at Twitter, Fibonojji, or just email me, americano417@gmail.com.